If I'm overthinking, I'm really trying, so I should stop it. So hard on myself, it's true. Pick apart the things I do. Been in hiding, backsliding, keep rewinding, pulling.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lucy and it's so good to have you guys back. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing my first ever sofa DIY project, and I'm going to be making this sofa from scratch. I know I've never actually done anything like sofa, like an actual sofa. I've probably used like weird objects to create seats, but not an actual sofa. It's not actually the first sofa I'm ever making, because I've made a sofa I think January beginning, yeah, but it didn't make it up to this place because I didn't really like the quality of the video. But this time around, guys, we're going to be making a flat arm sofa. I think it's a very luxurious sofa and I really love it, and I've always wanted to have it, and today we're going to be making it from scratch. So all the measurements in this video is going to be listed in the description. So because I had half board, I decided to cut out the arms of the sofa separately and cut the middle part separately, and I had these guys at the market help me do that. Normally I would have cut the volcano shape out from the board directly, and that would have saved like 10% of the work I would need to do. So after that I went on to cut out this 2 inches from this part of the wood, like I'm showing here. I did that out of the camera. This is what it's supposed to look like after I did it. I did it because I needed to join the middle part, and when I took the measurement it wasn't giving 2 inches, it wasn't giving 2-seater size. So I went on to apply my glue and joined the arm to the middle part. After creating the shape of the sofa for the both sides, I then went on to join the both sides with these woods. I'm going to add as much as I can to make sure it's strong enough to carry the weight of a person. The measurement of this wood is going to be in the description. You can also head to my story highlight to check out the full measurements and with the full measurement with an image description.
Control it, put it all out in the open. If it's only for a moment, it's a lifetime of emotions. Put it all out in the open.
Before I joined the wood for the arms, I realized that it was too pointy, so I decided to do a little sanding and reduce that harsh edge. So I did it for the 4 parts of the arms. After all that sanding, I went on to join the armrest, and as well as more wood to the sides to make it strong and also to form the shape properly. And here you can see our sofa is coming together. The skeleton is almost ready. For the elastic webbing, I'm going to staple this elastic to one end of the wood and stretch it really tightly to get to the other part of the wood and staple the other end too. And I'm going to do that for all parts of this wood. This is how you get a really strong and bouncy effect. You can see me doing the bounce check with my hands, to check if it's strong enough. After that, I went on to do like a crossing, more like I'm making a mat, and I'm going to repeat the same thing, staple at one end, stretch at the other, and staple as well. So I'm doing this elastic webbing for only the sitting area, because I have other plans for the remaining part of the sofa. I could have done it for other parts as well, but I don't have enough elastic, so I'm going to use other options. So for the back, I'm using this 54 inches long wood, which is supposed to act as a base for the inclined vertical support that will serve as the backrest.
Pick apart the things I do. Been hiding, backsliding, keep rewinding, pulling the thread through the loop, trying to find the faith I knew.
So now this is going to be the main support for the back, and I personally already carved this out to have the shape of the arms. This way it's going to make the sofa look seamless. I went on to add that and the middle one, and after that I went on to staple this 3/4 inch plyboard to the arms of the sofa. So for this part, you can also use your elastic webbing or cardboard boxes, and either of the two is going to work totally fine. I decided to use this one because I have this scrap wood in my store. So here I'm just stapling this sack bag to the back of the arms. This is supposed to help put the work together, and at first I thought it was going to be able to hold my phone, but later I decided to also add cardboard boxes to it. And yeah,
You can plan it, I really thought that I would have it mostly figured out by now.
so the work of this particular horizontal wood that we are adding is to put the work together, to hold the frame of the work together. As you can see, I joined it to all the wood I put for the backrest, and then I went in and placed the vertically inclined ones in between, and then I went on and joined it to the entire frame. So now that the backrest is totally being put together, I went on with this really thin plyboard and I stapled it onto the back. This is supposed to carry the foam for the backrest. You can also go in with your elastic webbing here, or you could go in with cardboard boxes. I don't know how strong cardboard boxes could be for a two-seater backrest, but yeah, you can totally go in there with cardboard boxes. And for the arm, like I said earlier, the point of putting the sack bag was make the work look put together. But then the important thing to use at this point is your elastic webbing or cardboard boxes. I'm going for cardboard boxes because obviously a cheaper alternative for me. I went in to the armrest with this cardboard box and I stapled it on, making sure it's still maintaining the shape of the armrest. So for the padding, I'm using this glue that we call aboki glue. I'm going to put a link to a friend's video in the description. She did a video on how to make this type of glue. It's really easy. Yeah, I normally get a lot of questions about this glue, and that's why I decided to share it with you guys, since she uploaded a video about it. I really don't know how to make the glue normally, but since she uploaded the video, I think it's really easy. So if you have access to those tools, you can always get it. So after applying the glue, I went on and glued this half-inch foam to the sides of my sofa. And one trick I like to tell people about is always pinch the ends of the two foams. If you're going to have to join two foams together, apply glue to the both ends and let it sit for a while, then pinch the ends together. That way you're going to have a seamless look. It's not even going to look like you added or joined foam at all. So I repeated the same thing for the both arms, and then for the middle I went in with the same half-inch foam that measures 50 inches by 5 inches for the middle. So for the arms, I turned two pieces of fabric inside out, and then I cut in a curved way. You have to cut in this curved manner in order to avoid air gaps in your flared arms, because the pointy end does not really require to have a pointy fabric, so you have to do it in a curved way. Well, I joined mine, went onto the sewing machine and did the work there, brought it back out, and this is what it looks like. I tried to fit it in to make sure it fits right. After that, I went on to also try out for the other side.
Stumbling home, we don't know where we're going. Should've turned back hours ago.
So once I was done checking if the arms fit, I went on with this fabric in the middle and then went on to use my pins to hold it together, to show and see where I'm going to sew on. Once I was sure of what I wanted, I went onto my sewing machine to join the arms to the middle part. This way I'm not going to have a lot of stapling to do on the visible parts of this sofa. So now that I'm done joining the fabric in the middle to the two arms, I then went on to fit it right back into the sofa. And after that, I went on to join or to staple the excesses to every corner of the sofa. That
In your hands, I guess we need a new plan. There's a motel a mile down the road. Finally can stand, backed and still looking for land. Jump on my back, I'll take you home.
So while stapling, always make sure to pull hard and enough so you don't have like folds, rough folds on your sofa. Just pull as much as you can, then staple. So for the backrest, the next thing to do is the tufting. I went in with my scissors and I made holes on the foam, and then went in with my drill to open holes in the wood that we previously placed there. You need to skip this step if you're using an elastic webbing. Yeah, I don't know how to do tuftings on elastic webbing, so I can't speak on that. Moving on, I cut two pieces of fabric, but the most important part of this fabric is the part where I will be doing the tufting with. So I measured out 8 inches space for each of the 6 buttons, where the 6 buttons is going to go, and then I went in with my ruler to mark it out, mark a straight line out, and then went in with my scissors to cut it out.
Finally can stand, backed and still looking for land. Jump on my back, I'll take you home. You know I always got you. You know I always got you. Push it to the side, even if it means that I die. I wouldn't hesitate about it, wouldn't even think about it. I know you really love you. Push it to the side, even if it means that I die. Wouldn't hesitate about it, wouldn't even think about it. I know I really love you. Love you.
So after cutting it, I went in with my pins to hold it in place. I always like to use my pins during DIYs to hold fabrics together. That way it's easier for me to work with it on the sewing machine. So if you're going to try out this, it's always better to work with your pins, at least to see what it looks like first before actually sewing it. So after using my pin to hold it in place, I took it to sewing machine and joined it together, and then brought it back out and folded the center of it. So this folding I'm making is supposed to be like an horizontal line that crosses the vertical lines and creates the points where we're going to make our tuftings at. So basically going to pin it in place and then take it to the sewing machine and sew it. After that, I went on to join the fabric that I'm supposed to put at the back of it, and then took it back to the seat and put it on and try to fit it in. So next, for the buttons, we are going in with this button that I made at the market. If you remember my previous video about tufted Ottoman bench, I guess I showed you guys how I made my buttons and how I make my buttons. So I'm going in with this pimple, I can't remember, I know I use this for your skincare to pop pimples. I can't remember what it's called. This is not a needle, I'm just using it because of this DIY. I passed my thread through it, and then I'm going to pass the thread, I'm going to pass the needle, let's call it a needle now, through the center of the fabric where it joins the horizontal to the vertical lines, and then I went in to the hole I made previously on the foam, and then I picked it out from the back. This is what it's supposed to look like. After I got it from the back, I'm going to go ahead and make a knot with it and then staple. Pull it tightly, always make sure to pull it tightly when you get it at the back. When you collect it at the back, always make sure to pull it tightly and then staple, and that is going to give you a very lovely tufting. Once that was done, I stapled the loose ends of the fabric and then trim off the excesses. And then for the back, I folded the bottom part first in order to make it neat enough, and then I went on to staple it and trim off the excesses at the bottom as well. So here I folded the ends and then stapled on it to give a clean finish, and I didn't stop there. I went in with these upholstery tags to reduce the amount of pins that is going to show through in this project, and this is basically the only place that the pin was supposed to show through, but thankfully we had the tags around, so we covered it with it.
Backsliding, keep rewinding, pulling the thread through the loop, trying to find the faith I knew.
So for this part, my sister advisor, I put this sack bag here because she claims it's prolongs the life of your elastic webbing, because before the weight falls on the elastic webbing, the sack bag is already collecting it. So I went on to staple the sack bag on both sides of the sofa, and then next I went in with this lining to cover up all that roughness and to give it a clean finish before we eventually put our foam. So for the bottom part, I went on to add a sack bag. I stapled the sack bag on just to give it a better clean finish, or a stronger clean finish. Before adding my lining, I went on to add my lining, even though NEPA took light while I was trying to do that. Also, I went in with these legs, chair legs, and they are 10 inches in size. I tried to drive that in with my drill gun, but it was messing around with the fabric. The fabric kept holding it back or pulling, and it was twisting the fabric, so I decided to cut a hole in it and then drive it in. This still was a struggle a bit. It was a bit of a struggle because the fabric inside was twisting as well, but lucky for me, the fabric inside pulled out, like the what's it called, let's say the foil, like the brown part of the fabric was the problem. So whenever I put like the first nail in it, and it just collects it, and then I throw it out, and then I come back with another screw and then just drive it in, and that's it. You can see my cousin's hand. I asked him to hold it from the back and he kept trying to bring out his face. Eventually his hand made it to my YouTube channel, so lucky him. So for the final thing in this DIY, I'm doing the sitting area with this 4 inches thick foam and 50 inches wide. That is 50 inches wide, and then I went on to cover it with this fabric that I previously already joined at the sewing machine. I then finished it up with my hands and needle and thread, because that was faster and better since I already wore the clothes on the foam, so I wouldn't be able to take that to a sewing machine to finish up. So after that, I just threw it on the seat, and next time you're going to be seeing anything, you're going to be seeing just the seat. This might probably be the last time you're going to hear my voice, so don't forget to subscribe if you made it this far, and a big thank you and a big shout out to you if you did make it this far. And also don't forget to share with your friends, thumbs up this video, and give me video ideas down below, the kind of videos you want to see on my channel. And ta-da!
Don't tell me